Hi everybody, it's Josh with Talk About Trek, and it's Tuesday, so it's Warp Tuesday, of course. We've got to come in here, we've got to talk about something relating to Star Trek on this day, and I will be, full disclosure and completely honest with you, my back is tweaked out. I need the help of Dr. Crusher, Dr. McCoy, I don't know, all of them, to work this thing out for me. So anyway, we might cut it a little bit shorter, because the longer I sit, the worse it gets, you know. But we do have a little bit of exciting news, and I did forget to bring this up last week. Or if I did bring it up, I forgot that I brought it up. But the Nacelle Company, Wave 1. Of course, we've been eagerly awaiting these toys, right? The Nacelle Company toys. I believe it must have been in May, I think, when they were announced. And I did immediately pre-order Wave 1. I was like, yes, I mean, we got to get this. There are some things that are very, very exciting, right? So here, let's just take a quick look here at Wave 1, if we can do that. Let's see. We can. So anyway, Wave 1 coming out here. You've got, I mean, it's an incredible bundle of stuff here. Look at this. You've got yourself Captain Jellicoe. You've got yourself Captain Garrett. Tuvix. Who would have thought they'd ever put out a Tuvix toy? But there it is. This fine-looking Sulu, right? Look at that. That's fantastic. And this is a way out there one, right? Valkyris. Wouldn't have expected that. Mirror Universe Archer. There goes the back again. Okay. We've got Weyoun, Peter Preston, and just the accessories and everything as well that these guys come with, as you can see, are fantastic, right? Like, look at this. 2 faces for Tuvix. You get his Orchid. Multiple hands for Sulu. You get this whole freaking setup here for her. Look at that. And again, just look. A smiling Weyoun. You know I gotta put the smiling face on him, right? That's gonna be fantastic. And a dead Peter Preston even. Oof, man. Anyway, very excited for that. That's going to be awesome. And the news I'm excited to tell you guys about is I emailed the company, Nacelle Company, and I said, are we still on track for our release by the end of the year, which is what they were saying. And I got an email back, and it was actually from, I think it's like the CEO of the company. His name is Brian. And he said they are still on track. So, it's the 16th of December. They've got, another 15 days here to get these toys into my hand. And then, man, we're going to have a lot of fun with those. We're going to do multiple videos, right? Like, first off, there'll be like a video like, oh, look, we got them all, right? And then we'll show them all before we open them. And then we'll do a video opening each one. Man, I don't know. It's going to be a whole thing. A whole series opening these toys. And I've got a whole shelf ready. Right there. This shelf right here. Currently just kind of hanging out with some, I think we've got some, Christmas ornaments, some past dispensers. Nothing too outrageous. Basically, that is the reserved for the Nacelle Company shelf right there. So, looking forward to that, of course. Now, what else can we talk about here? We do have a little bit of Star Trek news we can read about, and I've not even seen what we have here, so let's have a look. We've got casts wrapping. Okay, so, yeah, of course, they are finishing up Strange New Worlds, filming seasons 4 and 5, right back to back, I'm sure. And it looks like Jess Bush, Martin Quinn, Celia Rose Gooding, and Christina Chong have already finished their final scenes and have wrapped on the short-lived, but I guess that's what a Star Trek show gets now. You get 5 seasons, right? Discovery got 5, Lower Decks got 5, and Strange New Worlds gets a truncated 5. It gets cut off a little bit. And I did hear a little bit about this, that their Paramount is increasing the licensing fees, so there are certain companies that may no longer be producing licensed Star Trek work, right? So, different things going on there. Oh man, should I do this? Last year I did log into Star Trek Online and we did play a little bit. We played like we walked around the Winter Wonderland, and it was actually kind of fun for what it was. So, maybe if we find the time here, Christmas vacation is coming up. We'll log in and we'll see what we got going on with the Star Trek Games holiday events. Here we go, comic books. Now tomorrow is New Comic Book Wednesday, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we will have, see, I don't even know, I don't think I got Last Starship number 2. And now they're talking about 3 coming out here. 3 coming out tomorrow. So, again, it's a hit and miss here. We got a new poster from Starfleet Academy. We can take a closer look at that. And here you go. You got them walking down a hall. They're here in San Francisco, as you can see. Golden Gate Bridge in the background. I can't wait to meet these characters, right? I have a feeling that I know that I'm going to enjoy the show, and I have a feeling that the show is going to probably be like divisive. There's probably going to be a lot of people that don't like it, maybe because it's taken like a young adult kind of theme going, but I just hope that there's enough other things that maybe people won't, strictly see it as that, and it is going to be, it's going to be Star Trek, right? It's going to be Star Trek, just it's going to be something new, and that's going to be good. These posters here, again, I think this one got a lot of people worried. They're kind of like, well, what is this? This looks like an episode of like freaking Dawson's Creek or something. But again, it's just kind of them trying to maybe like give more press to that side, right? Oh, ow, ow, ow. Okay, we can go like that for a minute. Now here we go. Now look at this. This is kind of interesting here too. We do have Jonathan Frakes, who I'm not sure which episode it was here. Let me see if it says. He'd given old Bob Picardo a little hug here, but he directed him in an episode of Starfleet Academy. So, very interesting stuff here. And it looks like if you would like to learn some more about all these things, there is a ton of, little snippets that these people are kind of posting up to hype up the show. And truthfully, I don't get too much into like that kind of behind the scenes stuff, so we'll leave that alone and see what else we have to talk about here. Paul Giamatti on channeling Gul Dukat. I like that. That's interesting. I wonder how big of a fan Giamatti really is, I guess I could read the interviews and find out exactly what he said, but again, that's something I'm not really interested in doing either. I'd rather just kind of let the show be, so we'll let that be too, and we'll see what Paul Giamatti brings to the Star Trek world, right? We got a Sulu documentary here. Beam Me Up Sulu documentary to tell the story of lost 1985 Star Trek film with George Takei. Well, that actually sounds pretty interesting. So we will we'll follow that story, and get your Star Trek on physical media, right? Get it on physical media because Star Trek is leaving streaming. So Prodigy is going to be going, and the truth is, if you don't have it, if you don't actually own the DVDs or whatever, then you never know when one streaming service will go down or it'll go to something else, and you'll be, having to pay for another one. So just, that's just the one thing I have to say. Get your Star Trek. Get it all on physical media. I filled out my Christmas list with everything else that I need, and it's not very much. I need the first season of Prodigy, which they divided up into two DVDs. We need Strange New Worlds and Picard Season 3. And then I will have the full and complete Star Trek physical media library, which really is a very nice thing to have, Then you back that up to your computer, then you've got everything forever, and, you can just watch it whenever you want, wherever you want, regardless, worry about commercials, you don't got to worry about who's streaming what, it's just there and it's yours, So, and we're getting to this point, too, now, where it is easy. It is getting easier to find a lot of these shows on DVD I mean, I think if you look on eBay, you can get like the full Voyager, 30-35 bucks. If you want to even get it used, you can find it for cheaper than that. So there's a lot of great deals out there to be found, especially if you are, if you go around to your local flea markets and that kind of stuff. Just tons of great stuff you can find there. So again, just you can't rely on streaming because eventually they will go away. So if you have them, then you have them forever. And then, like I said, backing them up digitally too, man, that felt good because now I don't have to worry about ever getting the disc out. I don't have to worry about the disc getting scratched up or anything like that. That's fine. So it's just a nice thing to know to have it at my fingertips at any time, right? Star Trek at my fingertips. Now I just need to design like some sort of these things got to be easy. I bet we can do this too. I bet I could design some sort of thing where I could like talk to it and like my computer would find it and then like play it for me, right? That would be awesome. Yeah, I like to have voice activated things. I have this one. Computer, light.
Okay.
Computer, turn out the light.
Okay.
Sounded a little bit different that time. Anyway, that kind of stuff just thrills me to no end. It kind of makes me feel like I'm living a little bit into that Star Trek future. I wanted to have these window shades that would roll up, automatically, but that was a little too intense. We can't go that far. But having these little things is always fun. So anyway, what am I even talking about? I don't know. It's Warp Tuesday, and we're here just to talk about anything and everything Trek related that I feel like talking about, right? Let me see if there's any other news that we want to cover here. And I would say no. The big news here for the channel, though, is we are, I would say, probably about 125 pages into A Stitch in Time. And it is awesome. It is such an interesting, I guess, well, maybe there are other books that have kind of went further into the Cardassians and their culture and like kind of how everything goes. But for me, this one, it's like getting like this inside look at something that we've never known about before, right? And then also, Garrick is an amazing character. So you're getting his backstory from him, from Andrew Robinson. And just so far, it is so good. And again, we're just, maybe not even a third into it. And it is so fun. So I'm hoping that we're going to be back, maybe by this weekend to sit down and talk about that, because that's going to be good. In other news, not much going on, right? We've got to just kind of sit down and wait. We are less than 30 days away from Starfleet Academy. So looking forward to that. And then who knows what else the new year is going to bring. Oh, and don't forget, too, if you are able to watch the Rose Bowl Parade, they are having a Star Trek float in the parade this year. So I don't even know where they broadcast that at. But I'm going to try to figure that out so that we can see the Enterprise, heading down the road in a parade, right? I think that's pretty cool. All celebrating the upcoming 60th anniversary of Star Trek. It's going to be a big year for everybody, right? So anyway, thanks for hanging out and listening. As always, my friends, live long and prosper, and we'll see you guys in the next one. You have a good night.